This is number 80. This is number 81.
And this is Good to Know.
It's amazing therapy.
We celebrate inspiring people just like this guy.
I'm the happiness guy.
His iconic signs are popping up all around St. Pete, Florida.
Everything you take in creates an emotion. The whole idea is to create emotions that make you healthy physically and healthy emotionally.
And they're exactly what we all need right now.
And if you look at the word long enough, you'll change your behavior.
Take it in. 30 minutes of happiness starts right now.
I've never seen happier faces where kids just light up. Probably nothing better.
It's like a surprise, and everybody likes surprises.
These are such important stories that we don't forget.
I'm just going to say to this person, thank you.
Everything you take in creates an emotion.
Hey everybody, I'm Lindsay Boach. This is Good to Know, a half an hour of happiness coming your way. And we start with a special delivery in Ohio.
Dear Betty,
letter writing is a lost art.
At last I got to the urge to keep my promise and write one of my annual letters.
But sending one,
there isn't much that I can write about,
will always come second.
How are your lessons by now?
To receiving one.
I know I would value it. It would mean the world to me.
A small school rich with history, Notre Dame College has always had a personal touch.
I live it every day.
Karen Polking was alone in her office the day before Good Friday.
It was very late in the day.
When from the mailroom came a staff member.
She had a look on her face.
With a damaged envelope in hand. It was postmarked.
April 29th, 1947. I did the math. The first thing I did in my head was, my God, this letter is like 73 years old. I mean, where's it been? Where has it been?
The penmanship was flawless, and the message was touching in its simplicity. A glimpse into a father's love for his daughter.
In the letter, I think he mentioned he was going to come visit her, perhaps in a couple of weeks. So mayhap he did, mayhap he didn't, but she never got the letter.
Deep into the archives they went with only a name to work with.
Betty Jane Gerhardt.
Betty's most recent address was decades old.
Thank God for the internet. I just Googled Elizabeth Jane Gerhardt, and what came up, sad to say, was Victor's obituary.
Victor Smith's 2018 obituary said he was survived by his wife, Betty. Polking turned to the white pages, unsure if Betty was still alive.
The number I was focusing in on was for Parkview Senior Living Community.
Polking put the letter in the mail, and this time it arrived on time.
My phone rang here in the office, and it was Betty Jane.
I was shocked. I was more than happy though, but I was really surprised. Never expected one 73 years later.
Her father, Joseph, lived to be 93 and had 44 grandchildren. Alongside the pictures and memories, Betty, now 92, has this letter to remember her father. And it's all because someone cared enough to try.
She said, this made my day. And so when she told me that, I said, stop, you just made mine.
I'm just thrilled to death. Everybody is, all my sisters, the little 4-year-old then are 77 now, and they're as excited as any of us. Yep. The letter's far more valuable to me than any amount of money, that's for sure.
No one handwrites letters anymore, but perhaps we should.
Dear Betty.
Because there is no greater feeling.
How are your lessons by now?
Than to receive one.
It was meant to be. She was meant to get it.
73 years later.
With best wishes, love, Dad.
Really cool discovering all of these different parts of her life, because she was just grandma to me, and then now she's, saving lives.
It's a small but very special book for Johnny Windhorst.
Have you seen the diary?
Never seen it, didn't know anything about it at all.
He was the only one who knew it existed. giving a glimpse into the service of his grandmother, Arlene, during World War II, where the story starts September 1st, 1942.
Tuesday, Fort Knox, 1:15 p.m. Dear Diary, we're in the Army now.
You see, Arlene was inspired by Florence Nightingale, had a desire to be a nurse, a role that would take her around the globe.
Fort Knox, and then she went to Mount Sinai, New York, and then she went to Africa, Germany, and Paris.
The diary entries during the war sometimes feel like any other day.
Because she's just a 22-year-old single girl, and so she's talking about double dates and hanging out with her friends, and this guy's cute.
But then there are the other entries.
The POWs that she had to help save that were from the other side, just berating her, while she's trying to help save her, so they don't lose their arm and stuff. And she said that there were times where she cried herself to sleep because they were so horrible to her.
There were injuries, too.
You can tell it's very, very shaky, but this is because she's using her left hand now.
A Jeep accident left her in a sling. That's Arlene there on the left. Her diary entries until she got better were also shorter.
Friday, September 3rd, 1943, Italy invaded. That's all she wrote.
No diary, of course, would be complete without a little love sprinkled in, and a guy named Bob.
They were literally on the beach in the Mediterranean, at the north, like in Tunisia. And they're talking about, they're washing their dog tags and they're going to get married and all this kind of stuff. And then the next entry, she finds out at like 9 in the morning that he died.
The entry, July 24th, 1943. She writes, "This date will hover over me forever." It took Johnny years from his grandmother's death in 2007 to transcribe the diary word for word, although sometimes, he admits, that proved to be a challenge.
My grandma was famous for having really bad cursive handwriting.
He pushed through, though, to honor her service and share the secret diary with his family.
Turn it into a book and then just surprise everybody with their own copy.
Check out this other amazing discovery that's more than 70 years old.
Everybody dropped everything because we were dying to see what was in this.
A construction worker in Florida found a forgotten time capsule under an old church. It had a Bible, hymnal, and newspaper from 1948. And here's the part that's really good to know. The unearthed treasure talks about a planet overcoming obstacles and soldiering on.
New links found may aid polio. Crazy when you think about what we're doing right now. It's amazing how similar things are. History over time, it really doesn't change all that much. May have different people in different locations, but really, it's the same stories that keep on going and going.
An artist in Louisiana has discovered that his passion is bringing happiness to more people than he could have imagined.
Going from making, a reasonable pay to nothing at all and not knowing where to go or, what to look forward to next to take care of my family.
With the realization that his job had no real timetable of returning, Todd Cage decided to do what he knows best.
In 3 weeks, I've probably done about 75, 80 pairs.
These are the famous shoes that the tattoo artist made his own, something he says that started off as a simple favor.
Someone asked me if I could do it, and I was just like, yeah, send me a pair, I'll do them. And that turned into chaos. Everybody was like, where'd they go from, where'd they go? So I wound up having to order more and then ship them out to people just to fulfill the needs for everybody else.
The Louisiana native says the community he loves always steps up for him during hard times.
I love Lafayette, I love the community, and they always support me.
We're just being the vehicle in order to get it back out to the community where it's needed.
Nashville Inner City Ministry is using an old bus to get people some new things.
The bus was kind of sitting idle until this need came up with the Giving Bus.
Give Me a 5 stores recently began donating extra inventory, including bedding, cleaning products, and food to the ministry.
Stores have to move it, and if they don't give it away, then it goes to a landfill. And nobody wants that.
The ministry knew the best way to get products to people was on wheels.
We realized early in our ministry that it didn't matter how good our programming was if we couldn't get a crowd to it. So instead of investing in facility, we invested in transportation. By investing in buses and vans, which we have about 55 vehicles in the fleet.
For now, there is only one Giving Bus, and they're making it work. They've packed it and visited 3 inner city communities in their first 4 weeks.
We have a lot of parents who are at home or out of work, maybe recently out of work, and they have their children at home. They're trying to take care of them.
The ministry doesn't announce when or where the giving bus is heading next. Sometimes the unexpected can be exactly what people hoped for.
It becomes a great blessing for a lot of people, and it makes sure that we don't have the waste. They can actually go into the hands of the people most in need.
There's so much more that's good to know, including a man who surprised his neighbors anonymously.
All I can do is say thank you. I mean, that's a tremendous gift to my son, by all means, and especially at a random doing such as this.